Hare Krishna. So we are in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is also known as the summary of Bhagavad Gita. So we saw in the second chapter, especially Krishna is giving us the knowledge about the soul, that we are not the body, we are the
Body, we
soul.
are
So
the
that's
soul.
the first instruction of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. And then Krishna gives the knowledge about dharma. What is the real duty of a human being? So he particularly speaks about two kinds of dharma. One is swadharma, adharma, because of our prescribed duty, because of our bodily constitution, according to our varna and ashrama, we are supposed to do our duty. And apart from that, we should also do parodharma. The essence of Srimad Bhagavatam is Savai Pumsam Parodharmo Yato Bhaktir Adokshaje Ahaitukya Apratihata Yayatmasu Prasidati. The highest dharma, Parodharma, is rendering the loving devotional service to Adokshaja. Who is Adokshaja? Krishna. And how
Krishna.
should we render? Ahaitukya Apratihata. It should be unmotivated and uninterrupted. We can see so many devotees, so many people, no matter whatever situation they are rendering their devotional service. I remember 3, 4 years back, my Guru Maharaj, for 6 months, he was completely on bed. He could not even sit. In spite of that condition, he was giving classes. He did not stop giving classes. We can understand, their staunch belief in the words of Krishna and how they are following it. And then, because here particularly Krishna is speaking about this to Arjuna because Arjuna was reluctant to fight. He was confused about doing his prescribed duty. And he thought that killing his relatives and his teachers is sinful, whereas Krishna is saying that by not killing them, he will become sinful because he would not be doing his prescribed duties.
Duty.
And about enjoyment, Krishna is saying whether you win or whether you lose, it will be either a win-win situation, because if you win, you will rule the earthly kingdom. If you lose, you will go to heavenly planets where the enjoyment opportunities are much higher. And
Higher.
compassion. The real compassion is not for the body. When we are
Body.
not the body,
For the
we are
soul.
the soul. So either way, they are old. Even if they give up their body, they will get a rejuvenate body in the higher
Yeah.
planet. So he does not have to worry. And the karma kanda rituals, about performing the Vedic rituals, Krishna is saying that most of the karma kanda portions, what does it do? It is taking us towards the
Material.
sense enjoyment, material gratification. So Yamima Pushpitam Bacham, they are all like, flowery words, which are like, getting you more and more entangled in material gratification. Therefore, Krishna is instructing Arjuna about Buddhi Yoga. And what are the 4 benefits of Buddhi Yoga? Freedom from reactions, both good and bad reactions. And the second benefit is freedom from the cycle of repeated birth and death. And third benefit is become indifferent to all the Vedic rituals. And then the fourth benefit is
we have the relationship
with the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. So these are the 4 benefits of the Buddhi Yoga. And apart from that, right in the beginning, Krishna says the greatest benefit of Buddhi Yoga is Neha Bikramana Sosti Pratyavayo na Vidyate Swalpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayato Mahato Bhayat. Even a little bit of a devotional activity performed by a jiva, there is no loss. There is no diminution. It will go further. A classic example is Gajendra Moksha. Gajendra was a king Indradyumna in his previous life. Because in the previous life, he had been offering prayers to Krishna, even though in the next life, because of the curse, he became an elephant, he did not forget the prayer. He remembered the prayer that he used to sing for Lord Krishna, and he took a lotus flower from the pond. And while he offered it to Krishna, Krishna immediately came and delivered him. So these are all the examples which we can see how any devotional service that we perform, there is no loss or diminution. So therefore, we should try to involve every human beings to do some devotional service. When they are doing a little bit of devotional, swalpamapyasya, then what happened? At least in the next birth, they will get a human form of life. Otherwise, you may go back to the evolutionary cycle. You may again have to go through the 84 lakh species of
Repeated.
life
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
human form of life. At least your human life is guaranteed.
Yeah.
Then Arjuna is asking question to Krishna. You have been speaking about Buddhi Yoga. But how is the person who is in Buddhi Yoga? How do I identify that person? What is the symptom of a person who is in Buddhi Yoga? How does he speak? How does he sit? And how does he
How
walk?
does it
How does
work?
he basically behaves? So we need to understand just somebody is wearing kanti and tilak doesn't mean that that person is Krishna conscious, because that is one of the external way of showing you as a devotee. You can be internal and external, but there are certain people who are just externally showing themselves as a devotee, but internally they are not, just a
Oh.
show off. Okay, so for the first question, Krishna is answering through the sloka number 55, saying that a symptom of a person who is in Krishna consciousness is known by the way he is able to control his mind and senses. He is in the complete control of his mind and senses.
Senses.
And then, how does he speak?
Sit.
A Krishna conscious person. Next one is speech, and then the sit. So, how does he speak? A Krishna conscious person, no matter whatever situation he is facing in their life, whether it is good or evil, he is always composed. All the material upheavals that he faces, he does not get disturbed by that. In the beginning of the class, we spoke about the Serbian soldier who met a person in the war zone. He was completely undisturbed. Whereas, imagine if we know that there is going to be a war, and what we will do, we will try to flee away, right? At least for people like if we are from South India, we think South India is more safe. So the first thing we will do is we will leave Mumbai and pack up to South. We will not stay here. We will not think, that Krishna will either way give us protection. No, we will first think, how do I safeguard myself? We think that we are the one who are in control of our life. But a Krishna conscious person is not affected by any kind of things that happen to him. Neither you praise him or you dispraise him. For example, if a person, a Krishna conscious devotee who is doing book distribution, some people praise him, some people dispraise him. They will think, what kind of activity you're doing? Why are you doing this? This is not a right way of doing like that. These days we get everything in the mobile and you're trying to put your own thing in others. So many dispraises. But will a devotee stop doing that activity? No. Whatever happens, whether it is good or bad, somebody is praising you or somebody is giving you gali, whatever it is, a Krishna conscious person takes it in a proper way. And in the sloka number 58, Krishna is giving a very beautiful example of a tortoise. What does a tortoise do? Whenever there is a danger, the tortoise withdraw all its limbs. So similarly, a Krishna conscious person, whenever he is in such a situation in the material world, where he's saying that he's amidst of the people who are in the midst of sense gratification, what does a Krishna conscious person does he also get involved with them and enjoy, or he will withdraw his senses? He will withdraw his senses. So that is very important. And like a snake charmer, we are very scared of snake. If we see snake even at a distance of 200 meters, we will run away, right? But what does a snake charmer does? He can make the snake dance according to the tune. So the senses are very vulnerable. But a person, by becoming Krishna conscious, what he can do is he can bring the sense under his control. An example we saw was Haridas Thakura. He was a perfect Buddhi yogi or Bhakti yogi, and every day he chanted 192 rounds of Mahamantra. And even though a young woman tried to elude him, he did not get distracted. And on top of it, that lady became a devotee. She took Diksha from Haridas Thakur and she also started chanting not 16 rounds like us. She was also chanting 192 rounds like Haridas Thakura. And then how can one give up the senses? See, senses cannot be nullified. because they are meant for some activity. We can't be without any activity, right? Just by closing the eyes, can we control the senses? Suppose a
No.
rabbit is seeing a lion behind it, and the rabbit is so scared. So, just because the rabbit is closing the eyes, will it solve the problem?
No.
Either way, it will be getting eaten up by the lion.
No.
So, just by closing the senses, by closing your ears, or just by closing your eyes, or this one, we cannot get purified, because that sense gratificatory propensity will still remain with us, right? But just by involving our senses in satisfying Krishna, what happens? Our senses gets automatically purified. And when we get a higher taste, what happens? The lower taste will automatically
Automatically subside.
go
Yeah.
away. It will automatically subside. For example, you're very, very hungry.
Mm.
If somebody is giving you even a dry chapati, obviously you will eat, because some way or the other you need to quench your hunger. But if you're getting a nice feast prasadam, which one would you prefer?
Prasadam.
You will prefer a nice prasadam. It's a nice feast. It's more
Mm.
palatable dish. It will nourish your body much better. So after getting the feast prasadam, will you be even looking at the dry roti?
Dry chapati. No.
No. So the people are looking to satisfy the senses. But if they are getting a taste of higher sense, like by chanting the Krishna's holy name, by hearing Krishna Katha, by tasting Krishna Prasadam, when they are getting the higher taste, when they are, what happened to their lower senses? Like,
It gets
it
all
will
nullified.
automatically go away. And some of us who have been practicing Krishna consciousness now for few years, can't we see that for ourselves?
Yeah. We don't
Previously,
get distracted
whatever
with.
we might be liking some movie songs, we
Mm.
might be liking some shows, we might be liking to go to some movies, or we might have certain interest, which was not having Krishna in the center, right? But right now, if we are having a weekend, what do?
We try to finish what we couldn't finish over the
Exactly,
weekdays.
during the 5 days, if you had a
Yeah.
hectic work, whatever you couldn't
Yeah.
finish, you try to make
Yeah.
it up. You try
Make
to
it happen.
use the weekend for extra reading. You try
Extra
to use
reading.
the read
Correct.
for extra hearing, for extra rounds of chanting, and for offering the nice boga for Krishna.
Yeah.
Maybe the other
Correct.
day, something very quickly we make and we offer and go. On Sunday,
Yeah.
we can offer him something very
Little
nice,
more. Yes. Time.
something
Spend some
very
more time.
nice. We can offer him something very nice. So even if we are having a very dignified guest, what kind of food we will offer?
Yeah.
We will
Feast.
offer a regular food, whatever we eat,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Correct.
otherwise we'll offer him the best food that we could ever
Mm.
offer. Suppose
Yeah.
Prime Minister is visiting Uma Mataji. What will you offer him? The best
Hmm?
food that you can, the
Yeah.
best ingredient that you
The
can
sadhya
procure
will
from
happen actually.
Mumbai, you will try, you will hunt for it, and you
Yes.
will try to make the best food to please him. And Krishna
Correct.
is a supreme personality, he's a Param Purusha, and he's accepting our offering. Krishna says, Yome bhaktya prayachati. One who is offering me with devotion, tataham bhakti upakritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. If somebody is offering me with love and devotion, I will accept it. He already says that he will accept it. So when Krishna is ready to accept our offering, what kind of offering we should give to Krishna? We should
We
give a
should give him
very
the.
nice offering to Krishna. We should try to use the best of best ingredients. We can't be without wealth. We cannot say that, I don't want to be in Maya. I don't want to accumulate wealth. Yes, we need to accumulate wealth, but that wealth can be utilized for pleasing Krishna.
Good purpose. Yes.
You can utilize it for going to yatra. You
Yeah.
can utilize it for donating for the temple. You can
For
utilize it for
distributing books.
promoting Krishna consciousness. So it's not that, you say that, I don't want to even touch Lakshmi. I don't even want to touch money. It's Maya. No, you earn and then you do it for Krishna's service. So by developing the higher taste, rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. When you get a higher taste, the lower taste automatically goes away. That's why you will see the restaurant Govindas. The
Ah.
tag is the higher
Mhm.
taste.
Yes.
And you can see in Juhu ISKCON on Sunday afternoon, there is more than thousands of people who are coming and having the lunch there. Many people, they don't even come for darshan, but they come for eating.
Food.
And Prabhupada develop, these restaurants. The idea of having the restaurant is those people who won't come to temple for darshan, when they are having prasadam, because prasadam is also non-different from Krishna, so unknowingly they are eating Krishna prasadam. And when somebody is eating Krishna prasadam, then the seed of devotion is implanted in that particular person. People may not come for darshan, but people come for eating. And by taking Krishna Prasadam, one day or the other, they will become Krishna conscious, because the seed is there. Somewhere the seed will fructify. Some seed, if you put mustard seed, it will fructify in 2 days. If you see coconut, it may take 5 years. Bamboo, it may take many years. So depending upon the seed, depending upon the nourishment, it may take time, but someday or the other, the seed will fructify. Okay, so today's sloka is a continuation of the third one. How does a Krishna consciousness sit? So this is again talking more on the senses. Okay, please repeat after me. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 60. Yatato haipi kaunteya
यततो हैपि कौन्तेय
shasya vipakshita
पुरुषस्य विपश्चिता
indriyani pramadini
इन्द्रियाणि प्रमादीनि
Indrayani
ranti prasabam mana
हरन्ति
Haranti
प्रसभं मना
Prasamana
yatato haipi kaunteya
यततो है
Yatato
अपि कौन्तेय
Kaunteya
purushasya vipakshita
पुरुषस्य
Purusya
विपश्चित
Vipashchita
indriyani pramadini
इन्द्रियाणि
Indriyani
प्रमादीनि
Pramadini
ranti prasabam mana
हरन्ति
Haranti
प्रसभं मना
Prasamana
yatato haipi kaunteya
यततो हैपि कौन्तेय
purushasya vipakshita
पुरुषस्य
Purusya
विपक्षित
Vipashchita
indriyani pramadini
इन्द्रियाणि
Indriyani
प्रमादीनि
Pramadini
haranti prasabam mana.
हरन्ति
Haranti
प्रसभं मना
Would like to do this? Would you like to do?
Matashan.
Please.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 60. यततो ऐपि कौन्तेय
Yatato haipi kaunteya
Kaunteya
पुरुषस्य विपश्चित
purushasya vipakshita
Vipashchita
इन्द्रियाणि प्रमातीनि
indriyani pramadini
हरन्ति प्रसभं मना
haranti prasabam mana.
Yatata, while enduring, he certainly api, in spite of Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, Purushasya of a man, Vipaschita, full of discriminating knowledge, Indrayani, the senses, Pramatini, agitating, Haranti, through, Prasabam, by force, Mana, the mind. Translation: the senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them.
Thank you, Mataji. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Namini. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara. Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. So even though the senses are inferior to mind, but still the senses are very strong. Indriyani pramadini haranti prasabam mana. So it can even defeat or it can kidnap the mind. Haranti prasabam mana. Even though the mind is the leader of the senses, but if the senses are so strong that it can even defeat the mind. So a man who is of discrimination. Vipakshita means discrimination means what? A man who knows what is right and what is wrong. A man who is trying to control his senses. Example, so many yogis like Vishwamitra, Shaubari Muni. They are all great yogis and they were all meditating for so many years. They were trying to control their senses. And the yogis, they don't completely close their eyes, because if they close their eyes, they may go to sleep. Or if they don't open the eyes, because if they open, they may get allured. So what they do is they keep their eyes half closed. And Vishwamitra Muni, in spite of such a tapasya that he was doing, he was allured by the just the tinkling sound of Menaka's anklet. Just the sound. And he was fallen from his position of a meditation. And then later on, he united with her. He got a daughter. Then he got into senses and then he continued his meditation. But there was a fall down because of the sense. What sense? Because of the just the tinkling
Hearing.
sound of the ankle bell. Saubari Muni, he was in the deep water meditation for many, many years. And he just saw two fish uniting with each other. Imagine just doing the two fishes which are uniting together. His senses got agitated and he married 50 daughters of the king. And he too fell down from his yogic meditation. And later on, he came to the senses and then he continued. But we can see that these people like Vishwamitra Muni, Shaubari Muni, even though they are great personalities, we are nowhere in front of them, correct? Imagine
Correct.
such a great personalities. They find it very difficult to control the senses because what is the reason? The senses, or what did Krishna say? Purushasya vipakshi. The senses are very strong. Indriyani pramadini. They are very, very strong and very impetus. The senses are so strong and impetus. Therefore, how do we control the senses? That's what we will see in this particular sloka through the purports of Srila Prabhupada. The senses are
Senses
very strong. Yes,
very
Mataji.
strong. Senses are very strong. There are many learned sages, philosophers, and transcendentalists who try to conquer the senses, but in spite of their endeavors, even the greatest of them sometimes fall victim of material sense enjoyment due to the agitated mind.
Even in today's world, we can see many of the people who call themselves as yogis. We see they are all under scandals with the women, especially, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe they are yogis. They had some yogic power. That's why they are able to bring many people under their followers, right? But when they get so many followers, and especially when they get women followers, and when they what happens? They get attracted to them and they fall down from their position, right? And example we saw was Vishwamitra and Sobari Muni. Example of Vishwamitra.
Examples of Vishwamitra. Even Vishwamitra, a great sage and perfect yogi, was missed by Menaka into sex enjoyment, although the yogi was endeavoring for a sense control with severe types of penance and yoga practice.
So Vishwamitra was a Kshatriya,
Yeah.
but he wanted to become a Brahmana. Therefore, he entered into meditation because a Brahmana is more powerful than a Kshatriya.
Kshatriya.
And Indra did not want him to become more powerful. So he sent Menaka to disturb Vishwamitra's meditation and he became
And he
successful.
fulfilled. Yeah.
Exactly. Because even though he was a yogi, he could not control his senses. He got
Senses.
agitated and he fell down from his yogic practice. Yes.
Power of Krishna consciousness. And of course, there are so many similar instances in the history of the world. Therefore, it is very difficult to control the mind and senses without being fully Krishna conscious. Without engaging the mind in Krishna, one cannot cease such material engagement.
So the only remedy for that is through
Krishna
Krishna
conscious.
consciousness, one can control the mind. Otherwise, the mind and senses are very difficult to control
Better.
with our own endeavors. We may control for some time, but we may not be able to control it permanently. But one become Krishna conscious. The example is Haridas Thakura. He was chanting 192 rounds.
92 rounds.
Prabhupada is also an example of Krishna conscious person.
Yeah.
He in fact taught even the Western ladies to tie
Chant.
saris. They don't even
Hmm.
know how to wear a sari. There was no any women devotee, a Krishna conscious devotee who accompanied Prabhupada to teach. Prabhupada, he cultivated male and female, all the devotees. But anywhere in the internet, anywhere, if you cannot find a single scandal about Srila Prabhupada. Imagine even a slightest thing, people will catch, and he has such a big
They blow it
organization.
up.
He's an
Yeah.
Acharya of International Society of Krishna Consciousness. If there was a small remark on him, people would have blowed it up. But we did not hear any such news about Prabhupada. He was
Hmm.
completely under the control of his senses.
Senses.
There are so many instances, even in the Chaitanya Leela, there was a devotee called Ramananda Raya. He was so much under the control of the senses that for the skit, he was dressing up the girls who were like 15, 16 years, and he was bathing them and he was dressing them. But he was completely under the control of his senses. He did not get agitated at all. So we can see how the devotee who is completely in Krishna consciousness are able to get over the control, get
Senses.
over the senses and the mind. So, example of a Krishna conscious
Krishna.
saint, Mataji.
A practical example is given by Sri Yamunacharya, a great saint and devotee who says, Yat avanti mama cheta Krishna padaravante nava nava rasa dhamani udyamtam rantam asit. Tad avanti bata nari sangame
Maryamba.
स्मर्यमने भवते मुख विकार शुष्तु निस्तीवानं च. Since since my mind has been engaged in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and I have been enjoying an ever new transcendental humor, whenever I think of sex life with a woman, my face at once turns from it and I spit at the thought.
So, Yamunacharya is the guru of Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya is the one who found the Sri Parampara. So, he is such a great devotee. But even though he is a great devotee, he did not say that, still, he says that the thought of sense enjoyment comes. He did not say that he was completely away from the thought. Whenever I think of the sex life with women, he did not say that the thought did not come. Even a sage at such a great position, the thought of sense enjoyment comes. But what did he do? Did the
He
thought
spits.
affect him? The thought did not affect him. He spit at the thought. So we cannot even get over at the thought. Imagine when such a great saint like uh, Yamunacharya
Hmm.
cannot come out of the thought. Who are we? We are
Yeah.
nowhere in front of them. But by engaging in the devotional service of the lotus feet of Krishna, by hearing about Krishna, by chanting Krishna's name, and by offering devotional service to Krishna, every time when you are serving Krishna, Nava Nava Rasa, you are
New,
enjoying the
new.
new transcendental humor. Every time when you're reading Bhagavatam, every time when you're reading Bhagavad Gita, every
You
time
get a
when you're
different.
hearing Krishna Katha, every time you're chanting, every time you're doing, are you not feeling refreshed?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you not getting that this thing? If we don't get that, will we continue to do the same thing day by day, year
No.
after year? We will not do that. For example, you try to chant Coca Cola, Coca Cola, Cola Cola, Coca Cola. You try to chant for 5 minutes, we will become mad
Hmm.
because it's a material sound. But when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for 2 hours, 3 hours, and there are devotees chanting for 8 hours, and there are devotees like Haridas Thakura who are chanting almost 24
109.
hours. Full day they were chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So they were able to chant day in and day out every minute. If you're not getting the transcendental humor, this thing, how will you be able to do that? Right?
Hmm.
So that is very important. So the only way for us to control our mind and senses is by becoming Krishna consciousness,
Krishna
means
consciousness.
rendering devotional service to Krishna by following the Navavida Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu,
Kitam.
Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. By hearing about Krishna, by chanting his holy names, by remembering Krishna, by serving his lotus feet, by doing archana, by doing prayers, by offering by becoming his friend,
Prashadam.
by becoming his servant, and Atma Nivedana, completely surrendering to
Surrender
Krishna.
to
These are the 9 ways we can render devotional service to Krishna.
Krishna.
Yes, Mataji?
Sense gratification becomes distasteful. Krishna consciousness is such a transcendently nice thing that automatically material enjoyment becomes distasteful,
Otherwise, this material enjoyment will become so
boring.
luring. So luring. No, it's luring. If you're not Krishna conscious. I
Yeah.
remember during my initial days in Mumbai, back in the year 2014, 15, I was not in Krishna consciousness. I used to enjoy Holi like anything, I was just thinking, this is the life, because living in abroad for so many years, I never got to, celebrate with so many people the Holi, and being in South also, it's not such a great festival. So wonderfully, so nicely I was celebrating and enjoying. But now in the year 2026, or even let me say after coming back to Krishna consciousness, the holy day was also Gaura Purnima. So
Yeah.
this year, the holy celebration, I did not even go that side. I went to the temple in the morning and spent some time over there. And then I finished my rounds. I did my Gita, I did my Srimad Bhagavatam and a little bit of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela and everything, and fasted without water till 7 o'clock in the evening. And
Mm.
it was such a blissful experience for fasting for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So how this material enjoyment, it became totally distasteful. Previously, how much I was looking forward for such festival, now completely, it's not that I thought, oh, no, 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 today I have to do Nirjal, therefore I should not do that. No, the thought of celebrating the festival of Holi is not here. People are celebrating only for sense gratification. Or do you think there is any spiritual thing people are having in celebrating Holi? That day while coming back from temple, I saw so many police, because people drink. They drink bang, they
Yeah.
drink vodka. So
Mm.
many places there were checkpoints. So if it is the festival came spiritually, but how people are doing it now? Completely material, right? Eating all the non-veg and drinking bang, vodka, like that, right? So, but if you become Krishna conscious, what happens? Such a thing become completely distasteful, right?
Tasteful.
Analogy.
Uh, It is as analogy. It is as if a hungry man had satisfied his hunger by a sufficient quantity of nutritious eatables.
So once a hungry man, when he gets a nice palatable dishes, when he is completely satisfied, after he is satisfied, even if you're giving one of his most favorite food item, will that person be able to eat?
No,
No, because
he
you're
will.
completely satisfied. Therefore, when our senses are completely satisfied in the service of Krishna, Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate, then Sarva Upadi Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam. We get purified. So, with that purified senses, even if there are some sense gratifactory opportunities in front of us, then that will not be alluring us, right? Because our senses got completely satisfied by serving the senses of Krishna. Yes, Mataji?
Mind engaged in Krishna's consciousness. Maharaja Ambarisha also conquered a great yogi, Durvasa Muni, simply because his mind was engaged in Krishna consciousness. Savaimana
Abhai mana
Krishna.
Krishna Padaravindayor Vasamsi Vaikunta Gurunu Vartane. So Maharaj Amrisha is an example of a devotee who was completely in Krishna consciousness. He engaged all his senses in the service of Krishna. He used his eyes only to see the deity of Krishna. He used his nose only to smell the tulsi leaves that are offered to Krishna and the flowers. He used his tongue only to taste Krishna Prasadam, and he used his legs only to go to Krishna's temple, his hands to Krishna's temple, and his ears to hear about Krishna, and his head to bow down to Krishna. By engaging all his senses in Krishna's service, Ambrish Maharaj was completely, he conquered. He conquered even the Lord. Then there was a fight. I mean, not a fight. There was just some kind of conflict which happened between Durvasa Muni and Ambrish Maharaj. Ambrish Maharaj, he was keeping Ekadashi fasting. And the next day, the Dwadasi, we all know that we have a Parana time. If we do not break the
Break.
fast during the Parana time, we will not get the benefit of fasting. So Ambrish Maharaj came to meet, Durvasa Muni came to meet Ambrish Maharaj on the Dwadasi day. He came and he said that he is going to take snan and come back. But he took lot of time to come, that the Parana time was almost getting over. And Ambrish Maharaj was keeping this Ekadashi Vrata in Mathura for 1 year. So this was the last month of his 1 year sankalp that he has taken. So now he was in dilemma what to do, because if you have a guest, you cannot eat before feeding the guest, right? So he's asking his
Krishna.
Brahmana ministers, what
Mm.
should I do? So they told him, you can take a sip of water. Taking water is considered like breaking the fast as well as not breaking the fast. So, but Durvasa Muni, by his mystic power, he could understand that Ambrish Maharaj took a sip of
Already had
water.
water.
So he came and he got so angry and he invoked a fairy demon to kill Ambrish Maharaj. But Ambrish Maharaj was totally undisturbed. He stood still. He did not run away or anything. And Krishna immediately sent his Sudarshana Chakra to kill the demon. And the Sudarshana Chakra did not just stop by killing the demon. The Sudarshana Chakra was following Durvasa Muni.
Durvasam.
And Durvasa Muni, for 1 year, he was going all over the 14 planetary system. And finally, he came to Shiva. And Shiva said that, Krishna is also my master and I cannot do anything about it. And he was so surprised because he was always, a devotee of Shiva and he himself washed off his hand. Then he went to Brahma. Brahma also washed off his hand. Then he went to Krishna. And Krishna said that even I cannot do anything to it because I live in my
Ambrasam.
devotee's heart and a devotee lives in my heart. If Ambrish is excusing you, it's okay. I
Then
cannot do anything. I cannot go over my devotee. And Durvasa Muni went back to Ambrish Maharaj. And Ambrish Maharaj, for 1 year, he continued his fasting and waited for Durvasa Muni to come. And seeing the Vaishnava behavior, Durvasa Muni's heart melted. Okay, so this is how he conquered even a rage of a great saint like Durvasa Muni. Right? So the senses are very powerful. So in Viveka Chudamani, Adi Shankaracharya, Mataji, you can read this.
senses are very powerful. In Viveka Chudamani, that is verses 7 to 6, Adi Shankaracharya highlights that 5 animals perish due to external attachments to a single
Extreme
sense.
attachment, Mataji.
So, extreme attachment to the single sense, sound, touch, sight, taste, or smell, serving as a warning for humanity. If animals die from one craving, humans attached to all 5 senses face severe spiritual bondage and destruction. Animals and their specific single sense uh, fatalities.
Fatalities.
Deer, sound, shabda. Attracted to the human's melody, the deer
Hunter's melody, the deer
hunter's
is killed.
melody, the deer is killed. Elephant, touch, sparsha, caught in traps because of its obsession with rubbing against surfaces, that is the meats. Moth, sight, form, rupa, attracted to the flames, brilliance and burns. Fish, taste, rasa, swallows the bait hook due to its attachment to taste. Bee, smell, gantha, trapped in a flower because of its attachment to fragrance. Shankaracharya argues that if these animals are destroyed by one sense, the fate of a human attachment to all 5 senses is much worse, making detachments essential for liberation.
So we can see these animals, they are not attracted to all the 5 senses. Deer,
Uh,
just because they are attracted to the sound. When they hear a
hmm,
nice music, then the deer gets attracted. Otherwise, it's very difficult to hunt a deer because the deer runs very fast. So the hunter
fast.
used the trap of playing a nice melodious song. So the weakness of the deer is its hearing, right? And the
Hmm,
weakness of the elephant is touch. So what they do is they keep a female elephant and then they dig a pit and then the elephant tries to approach the human and then they catch the male elephant because the male
hmm.
elephant is so much in the obsession of mating with the female elephant and it doesn't see the pit beneath it. And then the moth attracted to the
Ah,
fire. It goes. And then what happens immediately? They
It's
die. And
that.
then the fish, what do? The fish, they keep some nice tasty thing, and because of that the fish comes to eat it. The fish is having so much of food within the ocean, right? Is there
Yeah.
any scarcity for the fish to eat in the ocean? It's full of
Mm.
food, but because of its tasting, its of
Taste
inability to control its taste, so the fisherman puts a hook, puts something nice, and the fish gets attracted and it's
attracted
getting
to the taste.
caught. And then the
Caught.
bee, fragrance of the flowers, the bee
Yeah.
comes, it's attracted, and when the sun sets, the flower closes, and then the bee dies. So we see these five animals because of one senses, not all the senses. Their weakness is just one senses, and that one sense become impetus for them. Then imagine we, the human beings, we have five uncontrolled senses. What is our situation?
Mm.
It is much worse than these animals.
Yes.
So we are attracted to the sound, we are attracted to the taste. Today, people are eating so many abominable things, and people are hearing so many kind of nonsense things today. Everybody has a mobile and everybody has a headphone today. Anybody whom you see in the train, in the streets, people are all walking with the headphones and the mobile. Obviously, very few people must be hearing something spiritual, right? Most of them are
Yes.
hearing some nonsense things, right? Sight, everybody gets attracted, right?
Mm.
And then taste, today so many outlets. Even earlier, people who eat meat, they will eat once a week because you don't make it every day. Today you have outlets like KFC, McDonald's and everything, and people
You
are
can
eating
just wait order.
almost every day. And they are also giving nice offers, right? So then they feel happy that they eat everything that doesn't eat them. Correct? And walking, where are you all walking to the club? So many places for sense gratification, movies, clubs, and everything. So we can understand how in a very difficult situation you are. So therefore, it's very important that we utilize all our senses in serving Krishna's
Krishna.
senses. Okay. So Krishna consciousness is a perfect way to control the senses. As we see, the senses are very strong and they are very forceful. It's very forceful. You cannot very easily control the senses. See, what does the senses do? They forcibly carry the mind and of a man trying to control them, like Vishwamitra, Shaubari Muni. Even though they were trying so hard to control them, what did these senses do? They forcibly carried away the mind of them, right? So,
Yeah.
what is the best way to control the senses is by engaging
Let
the mind in Krishna service. Then, what happens when you're engaging your mind and senses in Krishna service? Then the sense gratification become distasteful, and then the mind become easily controlled. So, the only way for us to control our mind and senses is by performing Krishna conscious activity, by doing devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna. Okay, is it clear? Can we do one more sloka, please?
yes.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 61. Tani sarvani samyamya
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य
yukta sita matpara
युक्तासीत मत्पर
vashe ye yasyendriyani
वशे हि यस्यन्द्रियाणि
tasya prajna pratishtita.
तस्य प्रजाज्ञ प्रस्थित
Tani sarvani samyamya
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य
yukta sita matpara
युक्तासीत मत्पर
vashe ye yasyendriyani
वश्ये हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि
tasya prajna pratishtita.
तस्य प्रज्ञानि प्रस्थित
Tani sarvani samyamya
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य
yukta sita matpara
युक्तासीत मत्परा
vashe ye yasyendriyani
वश्ये हर्यस्येन्द्रियाणि
tasya prajna pratishtita.
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
Would like to do this sloka? Lekha Mataji, would you like to do?
Yes, Mataji. Tani sarvani samyamya
Tani
तानि
sarva
सर्वाणि संयम्य
samyamya
yukta sita matpara
yukta
matpara
sita matpara
युक्तासीत मत्परा
वसेहयस्य इन्द्रियाणि
वशे
वशे
यस्य
यस्येन्द्रियाणि
ह्येन्द्रियाणि
तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता
तस्य
तस्ये
प्रज्ञा
प्रज्ञा
प्रतिष्ठिता.
प्रतिष्ठिता.
तानि those senses sarvani all samyamya keeping under control yukta engaged asita should be situated matpara in relationship with me vase in full subjugation high certainly yasya one whose indriyani senses tasya his prajna consciousness pradishta fixed. Translation: one who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence.
So Krishna in the previous verse says that even a man of discrimination can be carried away. So what is the solution for that? Is matpara. One has to completely fix the knowledge on Krishna. One has to completely fix his consciousness on Krishna. When you're completely able to fix your consciousness on Krishna, then what happens?
You
He is
become
able to
the
control the senses, and he is
senses.
also known as Pratishtita, Prajna Pratishtita. He is known as a man of steady
Conscious.
intelligence. Yeah, consciousness or intelligence. So only by Krishna consciousness, one can control the senses. No other means can be as effective as being Krishna
Krishna
conscious.
conscious
That is said by Krishna himself. That's
himself.
why he used the word Matpara. Fix your consciousness on me, right? So, Mataji, can you read this?
Yeah. How to control the senses. That the highest conception of yoga perfection is Krishna consciousness is clearly explained in this verse. And unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not at all possible to control the senses.
So Krishna very clearly said, just by fixing the consciousness or only by fixing his consciousness on him, one can control the senses. And that is the highest conception of perfection, like yoga. There are karma yoga, there is jnana yoga, there is ashtanga yoga. And which yoga Krishna is glorifying the most? Bhakti yoga,
Bhakti
where
Yoga.
you're rendering transcendental devotional service to the Lord.
Krishna.
Ambrish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni.
Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni. As cited above, the great sage Durvasa Muni picked a quarrel with Maharaj Ambarish, and Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride and therefore could not check his senses. On the other hand, the king, although not as powerful a yogi as the sage but a devotee of the Lord, silently tolerated all the sage's injustices and thereby emerged victorious.
So we just said this pastime of Ambrish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni. He was a bhakti yogi. He was a king. He was doing his prescribed duty. But Durvasa Muni is a yogi. Completely fixed his mind. Yogi is completely performing. He does not have any other activity to do. But who emerged victorious?
Ambarish.
Ambarish,
Amba
because he was doing bhakti yoga. So
Yoga.
bhakti yoga can be performed under whatever condition we are. We can be working, we can be a housewife, you can be very, very poor. You don't need any qualification to be a bhakti yoga. The only qualification needed for bhakti yoga is fixing our consciousness in Krishna and rendering devotional service. And anybody can do that. Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. You can offer him flower, fruit, water, or leaves. These four things are easily available. Even a very poor person can offer these four things. Yome bhaktya prayachati. One who is offering it with love. I am accepting, Krishna is saying. Right? So, Maharaj Ambrisha, a man of steady intelligence, the king was able to control the senses because of the following qualification as mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Savai Mana Krishna Pada Ravindayor, Vasamsi Vaikunta Gunanu Vartanane, Karau Harer Mandira Marjana Disu, Shrutam Chakara Shuta Sat Kato Daye, Mukanta Lingalaya Darshane Drisho, Tat Brita Gatra Sparshenga Sangamam, Grihnam Shatat Pada Saroja Saurabe, Srimat Tulasya Rasanam Tat Arpite, Mukunta Lingaya Darshane Drisho, Tat Bruhatya Gatra Sparshenga Sangamam, Grihnam cha tat pada saroja saurabhye Srimad Tulasya Rasanam Tat Arpite. Mataji, you can read the translation.
Mataji, I think the same verses you have read twice. There is a third one.
Okay, okay,
Pado
maybe.
Hare
Sorry,
Kshetra.
I think I did not
No, no problem.
properly.
Pado
Yeah.
Hare Kshetre.
Padanu
Padanu
Sparshani,
Sarpante.
Siro
Shiro
Hrishikesha
Rishikeshe
Padabhi
Pada
Vandani.
Vivandane.
Yeah.
Kamam
Kamam
cha
Shadasyena
dasyana
Sukama
Kama
Kamayaya
Kamayaya.
Yatotma
Yato
Shloka Janashraya Rati.
Shesha Rati.
Okay, when I did the thing I made. Okay,
No,
Mataji.
no problem.
Yes. Mataji, read the translation.
King Ambarish fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, engaged his words in describing the abode of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the form of the Lord, his body in touching the body of the devotee, his nostrils in smelling the flavor of the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaves offered to him, his legs in traveling to the holy place where his temple is situated, his head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires in fulfilling the desires of the Lord, and all these qualifications made him fit to become a Matpara devotee of the Lord.
So Matpara means what? Engaging completely all our senses in satisfying the senses of Krishna. We
Krishna.
see all the senses Ambrish Maharaj used only for satisfying Krishna. Not a single sense he utilized for satisfying his own self. Everything was utilized only for Krishna's service. So by doing so, that is a way to become Matpara. Becoming fixed in consciousness of Krishna is by engaging all our senses, and an example is Ambrish Maharaj. Like Ambrish Maharaj, following the footsteps of Ambrish Maharaj, we should also try to engage all our senses in serving Krishna. When we are engaging our senses in serving Krishna, then our senses get automatically purified. Tat paratvena nirmala. Nirmala means what? It gets automatically purified. Significance of the word verse matpara.
Significance of the words Matpara. The word Matpara is most significant in this connection. How one can become Matpara is described in the life of Maharaj Ambarish. Srila Baladeva Vidyabhushan, a great scholar and acharya in the line of the Matpara, remarks Mad Bhakti Prabhavena Sarvendriya
Sarvendriya
Vijaya Purvika
Swatma
Swatma
Drishtacha Labanti Bhava.
Bhava. The senses can be completely controlled only by the strength of devotional service to Krishna.
So many acharyas in the Vaishnava parampara, they say that only by performing devotional service to Krishna, our senses can be completely controlled. Otherwise, we may control it partially, but it may not be complete. So for the complete control of senses, what we should do? Perform, render devotional service to Krishna. Another analogy. Yeah.
Also, the example of fire is sometimes given as a blazing fire burns everything within a room. Lord Vishnu, situated in the heart of the yogi, burns up all kinds of impurities.
So when there is a fire, what does the fire does? The fire burns everything, right? So similarly, when Krishna is situated in the heart, when somebody is fixing his consciousness in Krishna, then what happens? All the impurities that are present in our heart. What are the impurities we have? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, right? Anger, greed, jealous, envy. These are all the enemies that we have in our heart. So by performing devotional service, what happened? Krishna himself does the cleansing process. Purification process. So some people think, I am so impure, I'm eating meat, so I cannot take Bhagavad Gita. Rather, you take Bhagavad Gita, you read, then that will purify your consciousness. So you cannot wait until you become pure and then invite the Lord, because we cannot become pure on our own. Whereas you hear about Lord's activity, you hear about the Lord, then as the Lord enters, then automatically all the bad habits and all the impurities will get vanished. Yes, Mataji?
Krishna consciousness, the highest yoga system. The Yoga Sutra also prescribes meditation on Vishnu and not meditation on the void. The so called yogis who meditate on something other than Vishnu form simply waste their time in a vain search after some phantom.
Phantasmagoria.
We have to be Krishna conscious, devoted to the personality of Godhead. This is the aim of real yoga.
So we see there are people who just meditate on the void. I don't know. I'm not able to remember. There are few places where there is a big meditation hall. I think Lotus Temple, Mataji, in Delhi. What is the name? You just go there and you just meditate on the void. So what will you meditate on the void? Will it be easy for us to meditate on the void? Can we just control our thoughts even for 5 minutes? Can we be without thinking anything for 5 minutes?
We have not practiced. It's very difficult, Mataji.
No, for 1 minute also, can you just nullify your
No.
thoughts? Nothing. So, but here we are having our thoughts, but our thoughts is on how to serve Krishna. We cannot be desireless because that is not the nature of the soul. But here we have desire, but where is our desire rendered to? Our desire is to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. We too have desires. So, by this process, when we are keeping Krishna in the center and when we are performing the yoga, then it is successful. Any other yoga, which is just meditating on the void, just meditate on the sound for the peace, they are of waste of time. They will just give you some kind of, a mental balance. Today people also do meditation and everything, so that they can enjoy their senses even better. They can be more calm and peaceful. For what? So that you can be more enjoying your senses. But a devotee, a bhakti yogi, what does he do? His entire life is dedicated in serving Krishna's senses, in pleasing Krishna's desire. Okay, so that is the Krishna consciousness is the highest yoga system. And Srila Prabhupada himself is an example of a Sthita Prajna, a man who is fixed in Krishna consciousness. He is a man of steady intelligence and he restrains senses and keeping a man of steady intelligence. What does he do? He restrains his senses and keep them under full control, not under partial control, under full control. And Matpara, his mind, his consciousness is fixed upon Krishna. So how can we restrain the senses? We can constantly engage in all the senses in the service of Krishna, and Paramatma burns up all the impurities in the heart. When we fix our consciousness in Krishna, it is Krishna's duty to purify us. So, Srinvatahi Swata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. In Bhagavatam, there is a verse which says, Hridayantasto Hridaya Abhadrani Vidinoti Sukritat Satam. When you hear Krishna Katha, Hridayantasto Hridaya Abhadrani, all the impurities in our heart will automatically get cleansed up. So Krishna, he himself personally takes up the job of cleaning our heart. Like if somebody is coming to our home, if our home is not very neat, they may not tell it right in front of us. They may go outside and tell, see the way this person is keeping the house very dirty. But when Krishna enters our dirty heart, our dirty home, instead of he going and saying what a dirty heart it is, he takes the job of cleansing our heart and he resides there. So all we need to do is fix our consciousness in Krishna. And how do we do that? By chanting minimum of 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and by engaging our tongue in the service of Krishna. Sevor Mukohi Jigvaho. So, of all the senses, the tongue is the most voracious one. So, just by controlling the tongue, by tasting only Krishna Prasadam, and by talking about Krishna, by vibrating about Krishna's sound and Krishna's glories, just by engaging your tongue alone in the service of Krishna, all the senses automatically gets controlled. Okay. So the secret of controlling all the senses, just one small thing.
Remember Krishna and don't forget Krishna.
That is this, Mataji. For that, the process is chant Hare Krishna and only have Krishna Prasadam. By doing these two activities, in the book Topmost Yoga System, Prabhupada has said that if one is eating only Krishna Prasadam, surely they will see Krishna face to face one day. So that is what Prabhupada has given in topmost yoga system. So we should try to engage our tongue only in tasting Krishna Prasadam and by chanting Krishna's glories and by chanting Krishna's name. Is it very difficult? That's what Prabhupada says. What is the difficulty? Krishna consciousness is very easy. How difficult it is. Anyway, we need to eat something. That we are eating, we are offering to Krishna and eating as a prasadam. Anyway, we talk something. Why don't we talk the glories of Krishna? Right? So easy. So let us all endeavor. Let us pray to Guru and Krishna to help us to become Matpara. We should also become Matpara, becoming fixed in our consciousness to Krishna. Right? When Krishna has used the word Matpara and everything, it is so personal, right? How does people say that Bhagavad Gita is not about Krishna? Then what does this word Matpara says? Isn't it, Mataji? How personally Krishna is talking to us, right? So that is, we are completing these two verses. Any questions or any comment on these two verses?
So, Mataji, last time when last session we had this Sthita Prajna, and this session we have this Matpara.
Yeah.
So, what I could say is that they both are the same, right?
Yes, exactly. To become Sthita Prajna, you have to become Matpara.
Okay.
You become fixed in intelligence by becoming Matpara, by fixing your consciousness in Krishna. That's all. Because we saw that even a man of steady intelligence, a man of discrimination, he can fall down because the senses are very strong and forceful, impetus. Therefore, in the following verse, Krishna says, how can we win over the sense? Is by fixing our consciousness on him. That's the only way to become Krishna conscious, and we can control our senses completely. Otherwise, no other path will help us to completely control our sense. As we saw so many examples from Bhagavad Mahapuran, right? Is it clear, Mataji, now?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
So one of the way to become Sthita Prajna is to become
Matpara.
Matpara. Okay. It's a very significant word, right? Matpara.
Matpara.
Yeah. We should all remember such words, right? Okay. We'll do the Narsimha Prana. Namaste Narasimhaya Praladalabayadayini Hiranyakashipurvakshata Shilatanganakalaye Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yami Tato Narsimha Bhagi Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Narasimhamadin Sharanam Prapati Tava Karakamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadvita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudev Jaya Gurudev Bhakti Vigna Vinashaka Narsimha Bhagwan ki jai Bhakti Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Namo Namah Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Hare Krishna
Bhagavad Gita as it is teacher.
Hare Krishna